We have what is a very early draft of this Boros deck, although I'm going to take a pause from the deck tech to read Chest's cold open. Thank you, Chest. Good morning, everybody, for joining us today. Hello, all you beautiful spikelings. It's me, uh, the kindest, most wonderful e-boy on Twitch. I read these every single time, whatever they say. And your one and only friend, Aspiring Spike. Welcome to my Shark Typhoon. Today we're celebrating my two wonderful puppers with Boros Life Total Control, featuring Phelia. Can the burning fury of Phlage lead to victory, or will our opponents find a way to heartlessly destroy our cutest exuberant shepherds? Stay tuned to find out. Do our part to help with a like, sub, comment, and prayer to Clothis. Thank you, Chest. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so I didn't have a ton of time yesterday for playtesting. I spent most of it working on Jeskai Control with Leyline Binding. I have a list, Jeskai Control with Leyline Binding, that seems pretty fine, but not necessarily the most exciting, right? Just kind of a more stock build. I started building off of Yindrik's list, which I think is really good. And I think that build is fine. But I, always like to try to find something more interesting, more innovative, more exciting. And I've been working for a long time on a mono white list. Maybe I can pull that up real quick. Dad, with the 3 months, thank you so much. Welcome back. Appreciate you. So I've been working for a while on this kind of like mono white control deck. This is not finished. You see like 57 cards, but trying to like lean into Sunken Citadel plus Monumental Henge plus Flagstones of Charkier plus field effects. So then you also can play White Orchid Phantom as like extra field effects. And so like I mostly like think that field effects are really underplayed in the format, and then there's kind of a cool thing where Sunken Citadel works with fields, and then Monumental Henge is like a pretty cool card advantage land too. But after working some more on Jeskai last night and also working some on the mono white list, I'm like, well, we should probably just be playing it. Like, if you're going to play Henge, you should really have Phlage in your deck. Like, this is just such a powerful historic win condition that you want to be digging for. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, also historic permanent. Historics are legends, sagas, and artifacts. So I'm just kind of thinking about how I would love for this sort of Monumental Henge field deck to be splashing red. I was just working on Jeskai, and so I kind of took my Jeskai control list and cut all the blue cards and then started building. And so here we're playing Static Prison alongside Wrath of Skies, alongside Discharge. Static Prison, there was someone, I got more embravened to do this thing, Static Prison, Wrath of Skies, because there was a Martyr player who'd been doing this. And I think it's kind of okay, where you could just like a lot of times let your Static Prison die, and then Wrath of Skies, it's kind of a good thing to plan out. But you get just like 8 really premium 1-mana removal spells. You get Wrath of Skies, which is obviously, one of the best freaking cards in the format. And then you also have access to a ton of card advantage. You get to play Unstable Amulet. You get to play Fable. You get to play the One Ring. You get to play Phelia. You get to play. I think the first Reliquary is still worth playing, worth trying, especially with the ring loops. And then access to Reprieve is also like a really nice tool, I think. Alongside getting to play it. Right now we're playing 6 fields. I could see this number changing. I think 6 fields is a pretty good place to be. So again, this build is very early draft, but I think it looks really, really sick, and I am excited to play it today. Dad with the 3 months, thank you. Welcome back. Team Master with the 19. Bruick with the tier 1. Appreciate you. So shocked to see 0 Bloodmoon in the 75, but I get that I get it with Wrath of Skies. Well, it's less about Wrath of Skies and more about like a huge chunk of this deck is like Monumental Henge and Arena of Glory. Bloodmoon turning these off is a little bit awkward, and Sunken Citadel works really well with the field. So I think we're leaning into a Sunken Citadel field package instead of main deck Bloodmoon. So you could main deck Bloodmoon also. But also, like, main deck Blood Moon is a little bit weird in, like, the Boros energy metagame where they're also main decking Blood Moon. Like, it's just kind of better to be on fields in those matchups, too. For whatever that's worth. Is pretty easy to have plans for, is also a card that, like, I think it does not make sense to ban the Ring right now, because Boros Energy is the most popular deck in Modern. Energy variants in general are the most popular decks in Modern, and the One Ring is very good against them. And I think that if the Ring didn't exist, Boros Synergy would be a lot better. And I know that the Boros Synergy is a lot of times playing the ring, but there's kind of this weird dynamic, right, where Boros Synergy players are playing the ring, but that's mostly for the mirror match, and then playing the ring is making them worse against like every big mana combo deck, for the most part. So it's just a weird dynamic at the moment. So it just doesn't feel like at the moment this is something I would support, but it is something we certainly could do, I guess. I think we keep the Phlage. I can like loot it away to the Fable if I need it in the yard or if I want it in the yard. I'm gonna go and Static Prison the Swifty. The irony is the ring is now really good in their deck. I think that the ring affects the matchup spreads in a very interesting way. It makes their matchup against Jeskai, maybe Necro, maybe not Necro, Boros, and the Energy Mirror is stronger, and it makes their matchups against every big mana and combo worse for the most part. So I don't know. It is an interesting dynamic, I think. No 2-drop, huh? All right, we'll just play the Fable then. And I don't know. I'm excited to explore and figure out what Modern looks like right now, and not complain about the ring every single day. You don't want to play Phlage, you'll play Helix. So Bamsing was running High Noon for Storm because it severely limits their outs and doesn't die to a Braid. Is this Copium? I mean, it's just worse than Deafening Silence, right? I guess High Noon is better against Living End. Maybe it's not worse. But it's just so good to have that 1 mana interaction too. Okay, so I guess we'll just let the Prison die, then Wrath X equals 2. Oh, they're Burn. You're not Prowess, you're Burn. So I'll discard Reprieve. Kind of hard to discard the card Lightning Helix against Burn. Yeah, so let's not prevent this. And then we might as well spend the extra mana, since we don't have anything else to do with that extra mana. It's better against Wish. That's true, yeah, because they can't Foundation Breaker it. Yeah, it's probably a conversation. So High Noon is better against Living End, because Deafening Silence doesn't stop Shardless Agent, which Living End is not very popular, but you will run into it probably like once every 10, 15 matches right now in Magic Online. Deafening Silence is like kind of the only hate piece though, that if you just have it on the draw and your opponent kills you on turn 2, like you're not dead. That's a pretty big deal. That is a pretty big deal, I think. So it's kind of an interesting talk. I think that kind of effect is good because a Braid has been really common. So like in the Hollow One deck, I'm back on Lizard over Soulless Jailer because of all the Abrades. But if you have white, you should play like Magistrate or High Noon or something like that. Any considers for Orm's Chant decent versus Breach and Storm? I don't know. I feel like I would rather just play more impactful cards in both matchups, but it's an option. It is good against Breach. That is not an application I've really thought about, but it does kind of counter through the Breach. Certainly an option. Yeah, Skullcrack. Not going to be close to good enough if it is, but it was the best card. Okay, best card, not close to good enough. Blossoming Calm, Alt Ruby Tech. Why aren't you just gonna lose to Oracle or the damage can't be prevented card? Plus empty the Warrens. Deafening Silence is kind of interesting against them, honestly. I don't think I'm going to bring it in, though. It's kind of like a fun card to play against them. Kind of bad with the Wrath of Skies. Does Phlage trigger the ETB? What ETB? Calm doesn't prevent damage to Prince targeting. I know, but it's... I'm just saying that that card would win, right? Because that card would be anti-Grape Shot, but you win to the extra turn damage can't be prevented card. I'm not saying that the damage can't be prevented is relevant. I don't know the name of the card, so I'm describing it. Put it on a mold to 6. This is just draw Phlage matchup. That's true. Maybe it's the burn players who are lobbying for the Phlage ban. So it is good against them for sure. I remember back when Oko was legal, I was playing the Simic Eldrazi deck, and I went, Mana Dork into Oko on turn 2, and my burn opponent read the card for the first time, and they just asked me, how am I supposed to beat that? And I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. Seems tough. Seems tough. Named red on the Citadel there. I've tried Blueback Decker Frog. Force of Negation and Shadow Splash was fun, but these didn't do much for that. Good feedback. Thank you, Larry. Thank you for trying. It might be that. I wonder if you could just play Waterlogged Grove. Like, if you had 4 Waterlogged Grove for Frog, if Force of Negation becomes more reasonable, you would maybe have to play another... Just thinking, I should field this turn. I want to field this turn for the whole Phlage situation next turn. So let's do it. Is Anviltron pretty much dead due to the Wrath of Skies? I don't think so. Like, your ability to play Mystic Forge, the Ring, Karn off of your Tron lands to overpower Wrath of Skies seems pretty real. And I've been wanting to play Anviltron with Glaring Fleshraker for a long time. I mostly like, I've kind of come to the conclusion that if you were to do that, if you were to play Anviltron with Glaring Fleshraker, you're probably just like best off like just playing that card. I keep trying to figure out, do you remove the Tron stuff and play Kozilek's Command in the deck and Eldrazi Temple, and do you play Ugin's Labyrinth with Devourer? But it's just like a lot of slots. It's a lot of slots, and it doesn't work with Semblance Anvil. So I think I'm probably just playing Glaring Fleshraker, and I've been kind of thinking about maybe playing a Fleshraker just like as your win condition over Karn. And that could be kind of interesting, but that is a deck I'm working on. All right, these cost me damage. Let's forget about them. Please don't have Path to Exile. Please don't have Path to Exile. Have I read the Similar? I can never say it by Tolkien. When I was in like middle school, I tried to read it. I had read The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and I gave it a go. But boy, did I find it boring back then. I just picked up a book. I can't remember what it's called. A friend of mine recommended it to me. It's something Swords King, some like kind of generic fantasy sounding book, like somebody Sanderson. I'm sure someone that's his name. I know he's kind of a famous author, but I can't remember the name of the book. So my opponent is going to go down 11 points between Phlage, Arid Mesa, and Rolling Vortex. and then I could pick up the Phlage with Essence Reliquary and replay it. The Way of Kings, right? Yeah, I've read like 50 pages or something, and I had a friend who it came pretty highly recommended from. Um, I feel like the first chapter was like a pretty good setup, and then a lot of like the action was really good in chapter two. I thought it was pretty good start. Hopefully, I can read some more of it today. I've been like reading that one, and then at the gym lately, I've been listening to audiobooks instead of music to try to like just really maximize on self improvement. Listen to audiobooks at the gym. You can't really get a lot better than that. But it's a lot of like more like how to write a book and like how to, you know, talk about politics and stuff. Not really much else you can say. Did I see Saffronov's tweet that reading was the most attractive hobby? Saffron. I agree. Reading is yeah. Drink water. Drink water. I drink 5 of these a day. Goodbye, sweet Phelia. No, I don't. I don't actually drink 5 of these a day. If anything, I need to drink more water. There's just a actually the reason why I'm drinking this is that in the Dallas area there's been a there was a fire, and some of the foaming agent from the fire has entered the water supply, and it's pretty far away from me, but we just figured we might as well just drink out of the bottle for a bit. Always something in Texas, I tell you what. Always something. Black, black. Oh, untap. Okay. So this is kind of a fun Galvanic Discharge where my opponent F6. But I was just gonna make them discard 2 cards and then keep the 3 energy. Okay, so we'll trade the 1 ring for Force of Negation here, maybe. Pitching Spell Snare. Alkaline water over regular water. Spike base as usual. This was what they had. I didn't make any thought into purchasing this over regular water. It is what they had. But I'll take base. I'll take it. I got to take all the base I can get these days. I tell you what. I think I'll flip Adelphia, Arid Mesa, or off the amulet. The fuck is alkaline water? I don't know. I have no. This apparently. So they do have this cling to dust. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm just gonna hinge here. It's not a scam. It has higher pH. It's literally based. Okay. 8.8 pH. I guess I kind of have a frame of reference because I have to keep my pH maintained for fish. They would not like this water. Think scales would be good in Pioneer. I've spent many hours trying to brew scales in Pioneer and not exactly succeeding. So I need one more mana to play an Escape Phlage in one turn. Bottle wasn't open. What the heck? How could you do this for me, to me, opponent? Top deck a Harbinger. I was woefully unprepared for this. Obviously, top decking Static Prison is epic. Also, why does Static Prison ask you twice and nothing else does? I don't really understand. Oh, I did forget about the Cling to Dust for a second. Oh, they didn't cling in response. Okay, that's good news. That's good news. Ton of things ask you twice. Really? I feel like I haven't been noticing it. Oh, Spell Pierce does, right? Red mana is really nice here. Or like basic Mountain is nice. Alright, so I think at this point, I probably just have to be kind of content if my opponent clings the Phlage, and then that's like a whole card that they don't have otherwise. And I think I'm just going to leave the energy right now for the Static Prison, and we can leverage this Henge to victory still, hopefully. But the Ritual, no, also I guess so. I guess there's more than I think. Maybe I just think it's Static Prison because it triggers like every turn over. I guess so does Ritual. Here to see Wrath killing a Murktide. I have killed Murktide with Wrath one time. So stack the triggers like this so we can escape the Phlage immediately before they have the option to cling to dust. Not that they have enough cards in the yard. If they do have a counterspell, this is, you know, that's the best case scenario for them, but they're still very behind. Also, good old amulet triggers. Maybe I should have let the prison go, because they couldn't really double counter float mana, but it's probably okay. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so cool. They're blocking with Bowmaster instead of with the token, so they can escape clean. Good play. All right, going to game 2 against Dimir Murktide. Another matchup we're kind of pre-boarded. I'm going to bring in the Boil. Phelia? Phelia seems good. Probably not keeping this. Having double discharge is pretty important against Frog. What's the motivation for Amulet? I think Amulets are good. We also kind of need more energy generation and energy payoffs, but Amulet's a pretty good card. I think it makes sense in control decks like this, especially like Boros that has, you know, kind of a shallower pool to dig into. If that makes sense. I think I'm gonna get basic Mountain here. Dude, my opponent is just F6'd as hell against the red deck with Frog. Will we ever see Amulet banned in Modern? Probably not. Alright, so let's go ahead and wait on tapping this because I want to be able to discharge this Frog. Do they have enough? I guess they can discard their entire hand, huh? But then I get to just have 6 energy in the pool. So weird to blow up your amulets with Wrath. I don't think it's that weird because you just like cash them in, right? You just cash in your amulets, then it's okay for them to die. I love how they just discarded a subtlety and they're like, oh wait. Do you think amulet is good with breach? I mean, it's not bad with breach. I've had some decks that's like the win condition. Looks like they are going to go in on the whole hand going away. What? This is like the worst number because I still get to tap my amulet. So if they get a swamp, they're going to Harbinger. I think I'm going to cast another amulet instead of fielding this turn. Totally okay to trade that with a counterspell, of course. I guess. I didn't think they also had Harbinger. Maybe I've been big time punished here. Oh, sorry. Also, oh, sorry. I had to tap red. Never mind. We're going to lose this game? Taking 6 down to 9. Only 2 discharges left in the deck. But we also have 4 basic planes. So we have 3 rings, 4 planes, 2 discharges. Pretty good number. Don't have that much time though. Alright, dead. Yeah, I guess I should have fielded. I don't know. I didn't expect them to have the Harbinger there. Yeah, I did feel like they might have cast Cryptic Command there. Would have been pretty sick. Good luck, Jesse. And his hand's a little bit more stable. So many Inquisitions for a format where everyone complains about the One Ring, I tell you what. I guess maybe doing this draw step lets them flash in Bowmaster sometimes. It's probably okay. Yeah, got a little punished. Don't know if I'm going to Static Prison this turn. Probably not. Let's Surveil. How's my vintage cubing going? Have I qualified? No, I haven't been going as hard on it like the last few weeks. Since we had the week where we did 364 player drafts, I haven't done a lot of feeder leagues, but I also haven't qualified. Maybe we'll get there again, but I think there's only one more weekend for feeder leagues. So at the moment, it's not looking very likely. All right, it seems like I should just hinge here. Is Tommy meets the story circle plus grinding station mill a thing? I don't know. You can do, it's like a 2-card combo that mills for like 30, 36, but it doesn't seem like it quite does enough. Luca, thank you for much Prime. Appreciate you. I'll have to find a Phlage. Alright, accept the amulet, I guess. So they have Force of Negation. I think I would actually rather them force this ring than force my Static Prison. So Phlage is the only win con we have. I mean, we have Phelia and we have Fable of the Mirror Breaker and we have Unstable Amulet. Oh, as fast a player as you, Spike. I mean, I have 3 minutes on them. They're playing pretty fast, yeah. It's funny you said that, right? As they tank for a while. Not sure if I'll tap the ring right now or not. I have like a lot of mana accounted for next turn. I think I can just kind of chill. Certainly a weird spot. Kind of fetch a basic mountain here so that their harbingers are going to be worse. Somebody cast an amulet. Let's see if they do anything about that. See if they counter my Essence Reliquary or they just don't care about it. Seems like no force though. I don't know. Is Reliquary mostly to loop ring? Yeah, but it's got some other applications too. Picking up these, picking up Fable, picking up Phlage sometimes. Right, so the extra energy is nice here. 4 cards in their hand. Might draw a card in a turn. You do need some action. So I'm looking for a Phlage here. So I think I'm just going to do that before casting the Fable. Instead, we find another ring. Should play planes here, actually. So to do a push here. Murder's Cut looks like. Super did that because it grows the Murktide. Good play by them. Nice. On the draw against Gigantha, let's click the keep button. We've got to Wrath the Skies. We also have Reprieve if it's double Reprieve if it's Storm. Not that that's that likely to get there, right? It does look like they are playing Storm. Unfortunately for us, very tough matchup game 1. We have 3 Deafening Silences and 2 Magistrates in the sideboard because the matchup is very good and very popular. Probably going to bring in the Surgicals also. I mean, if we're going to get turn 2, do we want it to happen game 1? Could there be a Story Circle Archer deck with Kappa Cannoneer and Thought Monitor? Seems good as a fair plan to refill after discard. Maybe. Maybe. I think that deck's going to be a lot worse than what we played yesterday. And it's like, at that point, if you're playing Story Circle, Kappa Cannoneer, you're using it like in a pretty fair manner. But you might be able to like just be like, I'm going to Tomio meets the Story Circle, put a million artifacts into play, and then I'm going to cast Urza and just like spin my deck a lot and try to like go through my deck with Urza. And like you can build a deck that way, but I'm not the most optimistic. Okay, it's good for us. So they've already played their land. So if I reprieve this, they are done for this turn, so it's probably worth doing. Oh, sorry. By done, I mean that they can cast the Rin's Resolve again, but then they spawns don't help them in any way. How many flips did the opponent lose? I think they've won most of them. So now we get to Phlage the Ral. Unless they flipped the Ral. They lost this flip. Although there's another Ral over there. So it doesn't seem like Phlaging Ral this turn would make a lot of sense, since they just get to replay. So we should kill this next turn and just hold up Reprieve again. Winning game 1 would be pretty nice. Obviously they're bricking kind of hard. Lost this flip down to 14. We kind of like if them to go like cast a Ruby, then we get to Wrath the Skies X equals 2. So what are they going to wish for? Past in Flames? Oh, sorry. I didn't realize they hadn't played their land. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I thought that they still had already played their land and we'd be able to reprieve this. But now they just get to go off. Sorry, that was a big punt. Realized it like 1 second too late. Yeah, super dead. Okay, sorry. I should have reprieved the Past in Flames itself. Winning in 1 against Storm, very difficult to do. A bit better if you play better. Just gonna bring in these. I'm gonna cut the Wrath the Skies. I think I want to cut like the Reliquary in like 2 rings also. Seems fine. I think we can keep in the 3 discharges, and then we're gonna be mulliganing very aggressively to a sideboard card. I think I don't know if we have hands that we would keep without one. Maybe something that has like Reprieve plus Static Prison plus Fable or something. Is the new green ley line just absolutely absurd? No, not absolutely absurd, but maybe playable. Not dead yet. No, we were super dead. We were really deterministically dead there. I mean, I guess if they lose every Ral flip, but their life total is way too high for that to be realistic. I don't like Storm. Solitaire is my least favorite kind of Magic. Well, some matchups are not very solitary when it comes to Storm. There's a lot of decks, I think, that do play pretty interactively against them. That's okay. You can dislike it. Put these 2 back. Yeah, I have tried to brew around Fisted Suns enough times that I am excited about the green ley line. New green ley line plus Tron lands plus Morpheon equals profit. There we go. You need the blue ley line too, so everything is the same type. I'm going to go ahead and go in on the Fable here. If my opponent has, the ability to turn 3 through Deafening Silence, they'll get us, but the sooner we play the Goblin Shaman, the better the Reprieve is. Tough. Okay, I'm going to go use the restroom real quick. We'll see if I'm alive when I get back. Be right back. Wow, Storm still sucks. Great. We're back. So back. EFG, thank you for Twitch Prime. Fiscality 11, appreciate ya. I think someone asked why there's no Rin 6 decks in Modern. We missed that question. I mean, it's mostly like there just are not like the Rin 6 has like been good in creativity. It's been good in like Valakut. It's been like playable in John. It's been playable in 4-color Omnath. And just kind of simply, all of these decks are pretty bad at the moment. And there doesn't seem to be like a clear playable Rin 6 deck. But Rin is probably, I would think is still a pretty playable Modern card, but there's just not a good shell for it. You could play it in like the red-green Breach deck too. The Underworld Breach combo deck that we were working on. Did I see Unstoppable Slasher? I did not see this one. 3 mana 2/3. Death Touch. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, they lose half their life rounded up. When it dies, if there's no counters, return it to the battlefield tapped with 2 stun counters on it. So my opponent's going to get Foundation Breaker off of this Wish. I think I should just Reprieve the Wish. Unfortunately, they're wise enough to play Gigantha in their deck. Sorry. Am I going to Static Prison a Ruby here? So my opponent can go 1 mana Wish for Foundation Breaker, and then they'll have... Their hand will be Gigantha, 3 mystery cards. Let's do it, I think. Oh, right. Deafening Silence. Fine. Well, now you can't. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to play Fable over Static Prison this turn, I think. I think the Newly Line's interesting. It'll be a fun card to build a deck around. I don't think it'll be particularly competitive. Wow, 2 mana Gigantha. And people don't play this card. So, what would be Surgical if we were going to Surgical here? I don't know. I'm just going to discard it, I guess. Nice. So, yeah, now they can't Wish for Foundation Breaker. Just draw 3 Deafening Silence against them. It's not that hard, chat. Come on. Were we mulligan to that game? Was it 4? Well, the 5. Yeah, Wish for Foundation Breaker works through Deafening Silence, but not because it's a creature spell. But having 2 is just too much for them. This is in paper. When I was like really a tournament grinder, if I had a hand like this, I would every single time Hollywood. All right, I'll keep. I would every single time pretend like my hand is weak. If I have the nuts like this. Which is honestly, I guess, a big tell, because I would never do that if my hand was strong. If my hand was strong, I would never do that. But every single time my hand was weak, I would Hollywood. Or my hand was the nuts, I would Hollywood. I wonder if anyone ever picked up on that back in the day. Yeah, I'll give it a try. Maybe field their green source here, too. Yeah, FOMO is definitely going to be a modern card. Which is fun. How do you feel about Blood Moon in this meta? Try to decide between Boros with Moon or Just Sky with Mockingbird. I mean, Moon is fine. I've been wanting to play more Just Sky. I like the Just Sky deck a lot, but it's been a little while. So you can go land Gigantha this turn, maybe. I used to do so much, like... Not only would I try to bluff how my hand was with, like, body language and tells, I would also really often, like, be constantly staring at my opponent trying to figure out what they have, and I really feel like I lost a lot of those skills transitioning into being a Magic Online only or mostly Magic Online gamer. Gods, I was strong then. Alright, let's go ahead and yoink that. Deafening Silence over Damping Sphere. We could play some Damping Spheres. The thing is that there's a lot of Abrades in this archetype. Yeah, we can kill the Rao because if they flip it, we just attack it. There's a lot of Abrades, so like being in on Deafening Silence is pretty nice. Deafening Silence also, like, it means that if you are on the draw, you don't lose, so that aspect is pretty nice. I'm probably gonna just field them off green. Well, So it's a third green source. So I don't think we're going to cast anything right now, or activate field right now. Oh! Do you also have a braid plus a win? That would be pretty exciting, huh? So not sure why people are in green red over. Yeah, I actually don't know why people switch back to green red either. Like Static Prison just still feels like you just don't have to worry about it. Like doesn't matter what they have, you're gonna have an answer for it. I agree. They usually play only like 4 basics. I mean, doesn't really help me here, right? Just thin the deck for them. Okay, well that was good enough. It seems. A lot of cyber cards. We played against Storm like 7 times yesterday, so I definitely wanted to come prepared today. This is our only first time playing against it today, though. So we're up against Kihira, the Orphan Guard. I mean, if they're playing Belcher, I like the Field of Ruin. They're probably playing Control, so let's mulligan. Certainly the big downside of playing Kihira in your deck. It's very good in blue-black and Jeskai control matchups. You can just draw. You just play draw 2 into Phlage repeatedly. That seems pretty good. Belcher can't play. Oh, Belcher can't play Kihira because of the new MDFCs. Okay, cool. Pinnacle Monk. Makes sense. Are they Team or Reclamation, maybe? What is this deck doing with Sunken Citadel? We're playing Field of Ruin and we're playing Monumental Henge. I'm obviously not sure about this, but I think our opponent's playing Team-O-Rec. I might lose this Surveil. That card's like fine to keep on top with Phelia. But I'm gonna lose it, I think. Yeah. If they are playing Team-O-Rec, their basic count is like they probably have like 4 islands. Okay, well now I don't really know. I'm gonna field them. Certainly like an awful matchup. Scape Shift? Maybe. So this is probably like a little bit too fancy of a play, but I think it's good to field them. My plan is to play just the Essence Reliquary post combat. So like if they're gonna play a white spell, or if they're gonna use the mana now, I want them to do it right now so I can have a little bit better info. Although I do get kind of punished for playing. Sorry, I didn't play my land this turn. No Blood Moon. No, we're in on fields instead of moons, which is good because we're really in on like Henge is a really crazy card for us. Field is just good in general too at the moment. Like, oh look, free strip mines the rest of the game. People are not playing that many basics. So they do have 3 basics. They just drew the planes already. So they have a Leyline Binding if they're going to fetch that main phase. I'm assuming. This is only you can only activate this on your turn. So this makes the main phase the binding, which is kind of interesting here. And then they tap out to put Kihira into their hand. Hopefully they don't have a force. The Fable Wrath for 6. We did it already once today. Might happen again if they have another binding. It was pretty bad that I had to shuffle away that Unstable Amulet. For whatever that's worth. I'm a little confused by their deck here. I faced only Storm and Frog decks the past 2 leagues where all the energy and aggro. Okay, you say aggro. There are no aggro decks really besides energy. We played against Bird once, so that deck's pretty bad. I guess there's Domain Zoo also. But leagues are weird, especially right now. They are feeling very all over the place, very hard to predict, very hard to understand to some extent. So I recommend just kind of having an open mind when it comes to how you're approaching Modern at the moment. Get an amulet, so we want to main phase this. Phlage or Fable? Fable or Phlage? My opponent's at 9. Let's take this. I want to do any energy players. Do y'all feel like you're being farmed by combo decks in the leagues, or do you feel like no, I'm just blood mooning them and I'm winning with sideboards cards? Very curious how y'all are feeling. So they have Flooded. Okay, Flooded Grove is that's a Wilderness Reclamation card for sure. Let's text Dingo. I mean, I think Dingo's been winning a lot. So I guess the problem here is they're going to counter the Phlage on the way down. So maybe I should just hit the Kihira first. It feels like leagues of Storm through the Breach Eldrazi variants. Yeah, it seems like a hard time, right? I would think. So now we can activate this every turn by only tapping 3 lands, which is pretty nice. Instead of 5. High life total. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. Dingo's been winning a lot. Set through the breach has been rough. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, I could also cast Wrath for 6 next turn. They have 2 cards in their hand. I would probably prefer not to just play that much into a single counterspell, but it might be correct. And if it resolves, you win the game, and if it doesn't, then we are 1 card deeper for Phlage in the yard. And we get a counterspell out of the hand for Phlage, maybe. I can get an extra card in the yard next turn by picking up Elegant Parlor. Although I didn't play my Arena of Glory. Okay, that was actually a big punt. I was wanting to save it, but I missed that this gives me my extra card for Arena of Glory. Have you considered playing Eldrazi Stompy with Linebreaker and some other Lord of the Ground Eldrazi's? We have played some lower ground Linebreaker builds. You can find them in the Mox Field. I don't think that they're as good as the bigger builds, though, for the most part. They are somewhat playable. Wrath of Skies, even it's what's I don't understand. Even in like the worst matchups for Wrath of Skies, it still just ends up being crazy good. Oh wait, could I have bounced this itself? But then it's pretty bad to do that against a counterspell. I don't think we're supposed to. Do we think that they're playing Wilderness Reclamation in their deck with Wrath the Skies, Obnath, Leyline Binding, Subtlety? This Flooded Grove had me fooled, maybe. I'm starting to think they're just normal, boring 4-color Omnath. Got another Subtlety. They do. So I won't be able to haste my. I'll keep it on top. I won't be able to haste my Phelia, play Phlage, and play Discharge. It does seem like I have a huge, like, ridiculous amount of inevitability in the late game here. So let's just kill their stuff. Speaking of combo, how's Omnath going to compete even with counterspell? I mean, we played against Omnath yesterday. What combo deck were we playing? We were playing some kind of combo deck yesterday, and we played against Omnath, and it was just like such an embarrassing, easy win. That just seems so much worse than Jeskai. And it's kind of nice to feel that way to some extent about Omnath as an archetype. I remember it just used to be like, oh, you're playing Omnath, you're going to win all the fair matchups, but it just doesn't really feel like that anymore. All right, Henge, Fable. I want to kill this Teferi so instant speed Wrath Disguise isn't on the table. Oh, the Port and Eldrazi. Well, maybe that's what we were playing yesterday. It has been like a very, very long 72 hours for me, to be honest. Okay, not a big deal. One card in their hand. I don't have another Surveil land in the deck because we're only playing 4 Arid Mesas and we're playing some other tap lands, but let's go ahead and just activate this Henge again. It's got one card still in their hand. Do I want to haste Phelia? I don't think so. I want to haste the Phlage. Think I'm not so good, but the way people build the deck is sus. That might be the case. The way that some people just play no counter spells in the deck is definitely very sus. I would try to have like 4 Force Negations maybe. I'm like so high on Force Negation at the moment, but especially in your Wrath the Sky decks. You can haste both. Well, I can't haste cast Phlage from the yard. So I can't, like, hasting the Phlage from the amulet doesn't really do anything. All right, so you know what? I guess it's a little weird to exile 2 other Phlages, so let's go ahead and fetch. Just gonna get tap land, I think. I think I need one more Sacred Foundry. Oh, I have a mountain. I'll go take the mountain, sure. And I want to use the Sunken Citadel mana here to I'm floating land abilities, floating haste mana. I want to keep both of those floating for now, so that I could. I have to keep the land abilities floating, no matter what. But let's just see if this gets countered. We get an Unstable Amulet trigger. I might haste this Phelia if they like kill the Phelia in my main phase instead of like going to combat, which they shouldn't, but they might. Counter spell. So they are out of cards in hand, so they're not going to do that. But let's go ahead and activate this. Reliquary, kind of soloing this game. I think I'm taking second amulet over the ring here. This way I can play this amulet and then discharge the Omnath. But I'll do that. I'll discharge the Omnath in my instep after I get 2 more energy from Phelia, so I can tap this and maybe find something. There's something. Seems pretty good. Karuga is exactly the wrong way to build Omnath. Oh no. Yeah, maybe. What a turn. Very ahead. The new Dimir Land and Duskborn seems like a good replacement for Dark Shores and Murktide. Yeah, maybe. It's kind of gonna be an interesting convo about that card. I think I like that idea. Sure. Flipping Arid Mesa, I do still have a Sacred Foundry in the deck, I guess. Too many resources. Just want to play Burn. Like a first Reprieve we've drawn in 35 cards is kind of funny. Oh, they can't replay it, so let's Reprieve it. We also didn't draw. We only drew 3 fields. Have 3 more in the deck. It's kind of something to note here. Although I think they're going to be dead. Yeah. So I'm not going to do too much sideboarding. I think I want like 2 Wrath the Skies. Maybe it should have like 1 more sideboard card for matchups like this. I don't know. Omnath is pretty obscure. And these are still playable enough. I'm not going to bring in Deafening Silence. I'm not going to bring in Surgical, I think. Surgical on Ring might be okay. Nah. Any chance for Prayers to make an appearance soon? Yeah, we'll play Prayers soon. There's been a lot of questions about it. Have you ever tried Whirler Virtuoso plus some combo of decoction module? Is it Genitorium? I haven't. It's not a combo, right? It's like just like kind of general value. Never know. Creature is about under control. You get an energy. So, okay, so if you have 2 of those and like any combination of 3 Genitoriums modules and Virtuoso is an infinite summoning Thopters. Oh yeah, so they're gonna have Phlage. Yeah. The Surgicals are for Jeskai too, but yeah, we'll bring him in. Is it Charmaw 5 mana? Probably, possibly fine to board in. Probably. I don't think so. You could board him in. Are Phelia and Essence Reliquary just for the ring? No, they good with Unstable Amulet. They're good with Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I haven't been liking the Phelias too much though. I wanted to give the card a bit more of a chance in a deck like this, but they have not been very good today, honestly. Did I see the new discard draw too? I have not. Grab the Reins. 4 mana instant. Choose one. Until end of turn, you gain control of target creature, gains haste. Sacrifice a creature. Okay, probably not talking about that card, right? Oh, let's grab the prize. This is grab the Reins. What? Yeah, it won't be in the database yet, so you have to like link it or give me the text. This Boros deck doesn't seem to have a good combo matchup. I think that's accurate, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go for Phelia, I think. Okay, grab the prize. As a discard cost, discard a card, draw 2. If the discarded card wasn't a land, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Well, no, this is worse than Cathartic Reunion or Bitter Triumph, whatever the other one is. Because this is discard 1, draw 2, instead of discard 2, draw 3. I would think that this card is completely unplayable in Constructed. Come on, no Force of Negation. Let's go. That feels good. And they played out of basic too. Woof. Really, I think you said you changed up Hilo on sideboard. What do we have in there now? You can take a look on the Mox field. Although we played Grixis with Frog, which I don't know. I think that you'll mostly just like go back to red black when Fear of Missing Out comes out and Duskborn. So they can't Leyline Binding me, so I should be kind of safe to tap this and maybe find a tap land. Wait, they're getting their basics out against my field deck? They should have one basic left. Should I start the 4-1 prediction now? Sure. Yeah, 4-1 prediction up. So I guess I'm gonna go play Amulet and discharge Omnath with Reprieve up. It seems like we found our win condition too. Does he Doom's Boros Sundial scam? It's been a while since I've seen it, but I have seen it. I thought it was pretty interesting. If they play another ring, do we Reprieve the ring just to kill him with this one? Seems like it'll probably happen. It is always funny when like you could just Static Prison a ring on 3 counters and you're like, probably just worse for them to have that in play. Might be able to triple field them this next turn and get them down to 2 mana, although it looks like they're only playing 1 land out here. Be kind of bummed if I draw a Phlage and like have to blast them. Maybe I don't have to. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll definitely hold up the Reprieve now. I'm just going to go ahead and double field them. Yeah, I'm just not going to. If they want to draw 9 cards, they can draw 9 cards. That's okay. Do not care. and they choose to not draw 9 cards. So 4-1 prediction is live. Do you feel satisfied at the end of the week, or day for that matter, when you get off work, or just kind of numb? I've worked a lot of jobs in my life, from roofing to IT, and I've wondered what it's like to play a video game all day. I am the happiest I've ever been, and this job is sick, and it is incredible. I feel very satisfied. Yeah, I'll say. All right, click the keep button. I like this deck. I think we're what 6 in, 3 on the day so far. Phelia probably needs to go. Not sure what we're playing in that spot. Mana Tithe, maybe. I'm so happy for you and use the standing desk. Thanks. I've been using it less lately because I've been working out a lot more. So like my body's usually really tired. But I had a rest day yesterday. Yeah, I will say that I would enjoy this a lot less if I was a YouTuber, right? And if I was just recording Magic content, like if my job was to record even 1 league a day, I would enjoy that less than streaming. Streaming, just being able to just kind of yap and talk, and when things get boring, talk about anything else, and it's a lot better than just like sitting down and trying to record the best thing to an audience of no one in the room with you at the moment. And some people I think prefer that, but for me this is way better. calling out YouTube. I'm not calling out YouTubers. I just, you know, and I've recorded a lot of YouTube videos, and I know I just do not enjoy it as much as Twitch streaming. But yes, fuck you, YouTube. Come at me. I mean, we're up against Yogg. Let's keep the Wrath Disguise, right? You consider me to be a delighted halfling. Every single day I tune in. What if instead of Phelia, some of the Brainstorm artifact? Brainstone? Seems a little random if I'm going to be honest. Like, that card is not very good. I've only ever played that card in a deck that's like trying to Miracle something. Yeah, I don't really get it, I guess. Yeah, I think I just want them to play more into the Wrath Disguise. And then, like, if they play, like, Grist or Yogg, I'll Reprieve. I'd say Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher's okay. Kind of, like, low power, but... And it seems like we're pretty good against, like, the other grindy ring decks, too. Might be okay. So, do I want to Reprieve the Grist? So, if my opponent pluses... It's kind of bad. I'll Reprieve. Well... Going kind of back and forth here. I think there's a good chance they're going to minus. Yeah, not really sure about this one. But also, like, I may get to, like, go Static Prison on Orc Army, flicker Static Prison, exile the Halfling for a turn, and then, like, counter on the Phelia, which is kind of interesting. And then like maybe just like save the Wrath of Skies if like as like an emergency button, but like lean more into the Phelia. Interesting. And then another interesting draw here. Pretty lots of stuff going on. Okay, so my options are to if only you could exile itself here. I could Wrath the Skies X equals 2. But then I don't love that because they're going to just have Grist kind of uncontested. I mean, I could Static Prison the Grist. So I think I'm going to go play this. Okay, I like that because now I can go field this. They might be out of basics. Oh no. I thought I had 4 planes. I did have 4 planes at some point in my testing. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna flicker the amulet for energy now. They were out of basics, which is the good news, and we're not really gonna die here. And one cool thing is if we Wrath the Skies next turn, we can flicker our amulet first, maybe, if they don't kill my Phelia with Grist or Yogg. That could be something. Do you test in practice room? If for my matches play testing, I play in leagues, but I will usually in solitaire like 20, 30 hands. And like the practice room, just the one player practice room. I see you're a man of Boros energy culture. As popper YouTuber and ex-Twitch streamer, I confirm it's very different live streaming. I see how people prefer one to that. Yeah, for sure. I know that some people prefer the YouTube stuff, just, you know, a personality thing. I know there are some people who hate Twitch streaming. Like they like this dynamic of interacting and like being live is like terrifying for some people, and I've talked to some content creators who are really, really not into it. Just everybody's a little different, of course. Okay, so they sack once on the Phelia. Twice on the Phelia. Thrice on the Phelia. So it's going to cost me 4 mana to Wrath the board. I think I should probably just spin 6 instead. Just tap the amulet. Since I don't really have anything good to do with that stuff anyways. Cool. Now I've got a Galvanic Discharge for later, which is a pretty good card. Oh, I love how they're playing second Shifting Woodland. I think Shifting Woodland should be at least a 2-of in Yogg. I hate watching YouTube, so I'm kind of the opposite. Honestly, I like watching YouTube a lot. I don't like recording YouTube videos so much. They can be kind of satisfying or rewarding. And like some of the stuff I put out it's like I feel like it needs to be put out sometimes, or like when I have something I feel like I really need to say, I'm happy to have that outlet. But for the most part, I prefer streaming. It's a lot more relaxing. Like I said, a Cauldron, a Court of Calling, a Verdant Catacombs, and a Hapatra off of this Malevolent Rumble. Yeah, Amulet is templated really weird. You would kind of think you would lose the card if the Amulet dies, but this is ours forever. It's not in our hand. It is not until end of turn, until end of next turn. It's just there. Very, very, very odd templating on this card. Does War and Power Stone get us any closer to a Wildfire deck in Modern? I mean, it doesn't get us any farther away, I'll tell you that. So they did grab the Cauldron, which we're going to need to Static Prison before playing our Phlage, I suppose. Alright, so I have 7 mana, so I could go Static Prison, Agatha Soul Cauldron, play Unstable Amulet, Galvanic Discharge Young Wolf, and Phlage the back half of Young Wolf. I think I'm just going to start off by playing Amulet and tapping it. Another Discharge. So I'm definitely going to Static Prison the Cauldron here. And then maybe my opponent will respond by, like, putting a counter on the spawn token and, like, sacking Young Wolf. Do you want to save the discharge for Woodland activation? Well, Woodland isn't going to do so much if we contain the board. You know what I mean? But maybe. Now I think what I want to do is discharge the Young Wolf so I have, like, a higher energy count. And then Phlage the back half, so it's really tough for them to untap and combo. Because unlike a Dothraki Horde, a Yawgmoth on an open field isn't really that much to be concerned about. And that's 2 Cauldrons down. I mean, if their whole turn also is like turn the Woodland into a Cauldron and exile the Phlage, that's, you know, kind of just time walking them. And I would also be able to, I guess that would, if they did it on my turn, I could like Static Prison, or if they did it on my upkeep, I don't know why they would do it on my upkeep. I rewatching Game of Thrones. I'm actually reading it, So I'm listening to audiobooks at the gym. I'm rereading The King's book that I told you. I can't remember the name of the series, but y'all in chat recognized it. I'm like 50 pages into that. And then Esther is, so when we're in the car together, or sometimes like right before bed, she's reading out loud Game of Thrones to us. So we're doing a little bit of a combination. Yeah, Wave. I think it's Way of Kings, something like that. I just started, but okay. So they're also they've turned this into a Haywire Might, so they can might my Amulet. Another Amulet. With so much energy, I think I should be playing this here. And if I hit a land, I could just do everything. It's a fun matchup. Plus, I get the extra damage on the Amulet with the Phlage here. Dungeon Crawler Crawl. Okay, I'll try to remember that. For the most part, with audiobooks, I want to be listening to, like, stuff that'll make me more smarter. Because it's a real issue when you're a streamer to just kind of slowly get dumber and dumber and dumber. We're just on the first Game of Thrones book. I've read like the majority of it in the past, but we're starting it over. So there's that grist from about 1,000 turns ago. So killing the Grist is no longer going to be a good option with them having the Cauldron. So I think I should probably target this Bowmaster instead now. Although I guess, I don't know, they also get to, kind of not a good option either way, I suppose. What is at 5? I want to use the Discharge now too because I have this Henge mana. How many Static Prisons do I have left? Okay, Wrath the Skies could also deal with Cauldron, but not Grist. I hit a Henge here. Might as well activate a Henge. And then take Phlage over the ring because I can play and escape it next turn for lethal. Now I need to think, what's better? Just I must Wrath the Skies this turn instead. Oh, I guess I could do both. Yeah, I guess we'll just do this. 2 mana, spend 2 energy, kill these, put them to 2. And I want to be using my mana as aggressively as possible because of the Henges. Henges are so important in this deck. I think they're kind of innocuous, but it's just like so hard to outgrind them because like all of our like top end stuff are historic stuff. It's also part of the reason for playing Phelia, by the way, is it's a historic card. Very, very grindy game. That was like maybe the best game of Magic I've played in like 3 weeks or something. That's pretty cool. All right, Containment Priest stops Undying. Court of Calling seems like we're bringing them in. Surgical is also way better now that they're on Rumble. Kind of into that. I'm gonna cut the Reliquary. I want Phelia because I have the Phelias here. I might want to cut the Rings also against the Haywire Might Orcish Bowmaster deck. Ring has always been kind of bad against Yawgmoth. Seems kind of important with Wrath the Skies. I think what I'll probably do instead is trim like 3 copies of Reprieve and 1 copy of the Ring. They could have exiled Phlage there with Woodlands. Oh yeah, I guess so. But if that's their whole turn, you know, we get to like Henge again. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. All right, on the draw. I think I'm down to cook a goose here. Am I planning on attending any of the 2025 SCG Spotlight events? Yeah. Yeah, I'll go to the one that's in Atlanta, beginning of the year, and then just assess from there. But I'm planning on going to that one. Rumbling. They put Bowmaster into their hand over Verdant Catacombs. Interesting pickup. It's standard. I think so, yeah. I'm down to play standard tournaments. I had a lot of fun playing the standard event in... Was it Chicago? I think it was Chicago. This year, beginning of this year. I just want... Can I get away with casting Fable... Flickering Fable? I think I could get away with it. Become a cookies gamer. Yeah, I mean, I probably will like be watching Ash's stream a lot more, as I usually do when I have standard events to prep for. So they decided to not block my Phelia, or sorry, not Bowmaster the block, but they can block them Bowmaster. What is the cookies list? It's like a green-blue tempo deck that uses the 2-mana 2/2 that makes a food token. You can turn it into a 4/4, that card. Kind of like just playing, just Phlaging the Wolf to set up Wrath. I kind of think that this almost sets up Wrath better. Because, yeah, I'm going to lose my Shaman tokens, but I get like a free Shaman token this way. And I get to like have extra mana on my Wrath turn, and also it kind of maybe seems like I don't have it if I'm going to commit to the board like this. But maybe I'm just off base, I don't know. Okay, so I have 1 energy. which means I'll need at least one treasure token in order to Wrath the Skies X equals 4 now. Rumble might become a modern staple with all the new Delirium cards. I would probably argue that it is, but maybe my view is probably a little skewed as Rumble's #1 fan. Interesting. Oh. That's lethal, right? Or are they not like okay, so they ping the goblin and then they go sacrifice and it comes back. Yeah, this isn't lethal, right? Because their life total is lower than mine. So they're deciding to kill my shamans first. And now I'm not going to be able to kill Yogg with Wrath the Skies unless I draw Static Prison or Galvanic Discharge. Maybe they'll just die to Phlage? Probably not. Interesting to see the Ballista making its way back into the deck. I guess it makes sense being more in on Cauldron again. I did draw Galvanic Discharge. Wait, did I just kill myself? Not quite. Yeah, but now I can't play the... I did mess up by discarding the planes too, sorry. Because now I can't Wrath the Skies. For some reason I was thinking I could shock this in afterwards, but yeah, never mind. Never mind. Still, not in good shape against their million cards in hand, but could have played this turn better. Oh yeah, we did kill ourselves because the army's pinging us. Also forgot about that. Okay, on the play for game 3. I don't know. Maybe I don't want these surgicals, but let's try them. I think against the Rumble builds, they just have to be so much better than they used to be, right? I don't know that I can mulligan this. Not a very good hand. Why no Solitude? Solitude is unplayable in Modern unless you are playing Ephemerate for the most part. You could like a big part of the reason why Jeskai Control plays a couple copies of Solitudes. It's mostly because they want to not be weak to Graveyard Hate on Phlage, like Surgical on Phlage. So it's mostly like an alternate win con. It's just kind of not a very good card, in a word. So Grist is a problem. Doesn't seem like the solution is to just static prison it, though. Also because of Sun Cleanser. I mean, that's true, but you have, some other answers to Sun Cleanser. I guess not in Jeskai so much. You but pending. Yeah, sure. But yeah, Solitude is just not very good. I think this is something that you can say to some modern players, and it kind of sounds shocking to say that Solitude is not very good, but it isn't. It is a pretty mediocre modern card. I think I want the maybe punish their instance less. You could use Prison as Rite of Flame. Yeah, I think I just want to get I could also use Discharge as Rite of Flame, right? Power creep go burr. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's a power creep thing with Solitude, where Solitude used to be pretty good because Hammer was one of the most popular decks, and so it was a card that lined up pretty well against Hammer. And okay, so I think I'm gonna go Discharge for 2 on the Grist, and then hope to draw land to be able to go Wrath the Skies X. Oh, sorry. For some reason, I was thinking I could Phlage and Wrath the Skies. So maybe I'll just Phlage. With Surgical in my hand, I'm not that worried about getting comboed. Yeah, so it would be Beans was really good. Yeah, and Solitude was also really good against Murktide, which was like one of the more popular decks. Death Shadow was one of the more popular decks. But Solitude has always been kind of like it's good against specific metagames kind of card, and it still is, and it's not very good in this metagame. And I'm kind of the opinion Solitude has always been a really, really appropriately designed card for Modern. I think it is like right in the perfect sweet spot of like punishing certain style of decks while being very balanced, because it isn't very good against a lot of strategies. And I think that this is like this is an opinion of mine that is probably pretty disconnected from like the average like Reddit comment or whatever. I don't think I'm supposed to surgical the grist here, but so that's looks like a Court of Calling, huh? Okay, so if I go Static Prison on Delighted Halfling, my opponent courts for Yogg, but then if they sack the Static Prison, I can only Wrath X equals 2. So it seems like I should just Static Prison the Yogg. Which is maybe not that good because they're going to draw 4 cards. Although if they draw 4 cards, they get extra energy, which is kind of nice. Pretty sure it's been talked about 1,000 times, but chances anyone things rings get axed in December. So I've actually just said today the ring is 0% chance to get banned in December. It will not happen. It is impossible for it to happen. And you should buy, not only should you buy as many copies of the ring, you should be really obnoxious about it on Magic Online and declare that use the words, the One Ring is going to the moon. It's going to the moon, to the moon, to the moon. It's going to be, the One Ring is going to be $10,000. The One Ring is actually going to replace currency as you know it. Currency as you know it is going to be completely replaced by copies of the One Ring. People will own percentage shares of your One Ring, and it will even destabilize some world economies. So just keep a loose eye out on that. That is my new opinion on the One Ring. Okay, so they get to Cauldron the Grist, and we Static Prison the Grist, or the Cauldron. We could have Surgical the Grist in response, but I think with Static Prison in our hand, and also them milling over a Yawgmoth just now, not that we knew that was going to happen. Just going to do this. Do a main phase so they can't cord for another one. Fatal Push Endurance, Hapatra, Endurance, or sorry, Halfling. Only 3 Yoggs, huh? 2 Pick Your Poison, 2 more Cauldrons, 1 Ballista, 3 more Grists. We'll see. Oh, sorry, there's the 4th Yogg. Underneath the Static Prison. Duh. Gonna be a tough one. They should have a Might. I guess I didn't see it there, but they did have a Might last game, right? Yeah, them exiling my Phlage here was pretty dang tough. Do I have to Static Prison Boggart Harbinger? Kinda do. Things are not looking very good. So the hand is Hapatra Mystery card. I'm going to take 4 and block the Halfling. Mystery cards beside you, and we wrap it up. Okay. Interesting matchup. So we have back-to-back 3/2s this deck. I like it. I want to keep working on it too. There's a chance I'll play an updated version tomorrow in the challenge, although I want to get the Phelias out of there, and I'm not sure exactly what we're replacing the Phelias with. Not sure. I'll think about it some more. Not like locked to play this in the challenge tomorrow. Just kind of considering it. Considering the improvised Eldrazi deck too. That deck was pretty solid. Kind of high variance though. I might play something a little bit more normal. Might play like Jeskai Control tomorrow in the challenge. There's also the Super Qualifier on Sunday. I'm probably going to be live for. I don't know if I'm going to be live Saturday or not.